Hi, Coach. Good morning. Zarigia from ESPN Brazil. I want to talk about the grit and determination of your team last night. I want to. Seems like everybody has the same mindset, or even though I not play my best, I'll leave 100% in the floor. How huge was that? And I want to talk. I want you to talk about TJ, the energy that he brought from the bench last night.
Well, the magnitude of the challenge with Oklahoma City is daunting because of the kind of year that they had and how great they are. I mean, they're historically great in so many different areas, and they got the MVP. So it's hard. It takes nothing less than everything we possibly have together. And it's only been 3 games. It feels like it's been longer. This is an 18-day series where the last one was 13 days, and so with how it's stretched out, it's a long haul. But we need everybody. We need everybody to put everything they have into it, and that's how we've gotten to the finals.
Jenny up front.
Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. Rick, TJ and Alex, both a couple guys that have made their way in the NBA. What has impressed you just about the way that, they've not only played well, but changed all 3 games in different ways? What's impressed you about those 2 guys?
They're both self-made guys. They've overcome a lot. I mentioned this last week. We had Alex Caruso in one of our free agent camps in Dallas. I don't even remember what year it was, but he hadn't even gotten into the league yet. He may have played internationally or something like that, and he had a good 2 or 3 days, but we didn't even bring him to the summer league or ask him to summer league, and so some of these guys that go under the radar have that level of grit and determination that is able to get them to the league and to get them some longevity and high impact. And both of these guys are examples of that.
Joe?
Can I ask you another Coaches Association question?
You can try.
There's been some wild reports out there the last couple of days about the Knicks asking for permission to interview all these coaches who already have jobs with other teams. And I wonder if there is a stance from the Coaches Association about this very thing, about going after head coaches who are already employed by other teams.
Why would there be an issue about having interest in great coaches?
Oh, it just would be, I guess, excluding guys who...
These are all, the names of guys that are, the permission is being asked to speak to these guys. I've seen, Jason Kidd, one Billy Donovan, Quinn Snyder, Chris Finch. Who was the 5th? There was another one, right?
Yeah.
Ime Udoka. These guys are all great coaches. I don't have any problem with it. I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm not speaking for the Coaches Association, but that just, to me, above all, it speaks to the value of great coaching, and so I don't see an issue with it. But I'm not authorized to speak on behalf of the Coaches Association. I'm only giving you my opinion.
Then a quick final follow-up. You mentioned that Miles wasn't feeling well last night and might not be with you guys today. I just wanted to know if he was able to come in and...
He's not coming to media. Not coming to media. He was there for our film session, and he's going home. So hopefully he'll feel better, but he'll feel better tomorrow. We'll see.
Tim here in the corner.
Rick, you guys have had 2-1 leads in every series so far. When I know it's just the start.
Yeah, and listen, before you even ask the question, we're not getting into. Not getting into answering questions about the future or anything like that. I mean, it's just. I mean, you look at what Oklahoma did at the beginning of the game, 16-7, boom, just like that. We have a lead at the end of the third quarter, boom, all of a sudden we're down 5 going into the fourth. There's no looking forward. There's, we study some of the things that have happened leading up to this, but beyond that, I'm not talking about anything having to do with, series standings or any of that kind of stuff. Be foolish. If you have another question,
I'm proud that it wasn't a looking forward question then, what I was going to ask you. The human condition being what it is about this group that it does not relax in that situation? When it has a lead, it comes out and keeps playing the same way.
That's the challenge before us right now is to maintain and it's got to be a killer edge to beat these guys. I mean, we're going to be an underdog in every game in this series. It was 10.5 in the first 2 games, 5.5 these last night, and then tomorrow. It's a daunting challenge. Anything less than a total grit mindset, and we just don't have a chance.
Dustin, towards the back left.
Rick, you've talked in the past about this team having a lot of leaders and basically everybody having kind of a voice in that. How do guys that are maybe younger, maybe quieter, guys like Andrew, Aaron, Ben Mathurin, Ben Sheppard, how do those guys fit into that scenario, and how have you seen them step up during this playoff run?
Well, we communicate a lot with our players, and guys that aren't necessarily the overt, vocal leaders by nature. We try to pull it out of them, in the room, and some certain players like Pascal is an example of a guy that has a lot of experience. He's a leader by nature, and so at the appropriate times, he's always there to make an observation, to talk to the team about experiences that he's had, cautionary things to avoid, those kinds of things. But look, we've got great guys. I know Oklahoma's got great guys on their team. You can just tell. I mean, tell they're top shelf character people. That's one of the great features of this series, just the competitive integrity, I think, on both sides. But the challenge is massive.
Tyrese, you guys were up 2-1 in every other round as well, and then games 4, game 5, you did not. There was no drop off. You guys kept your edge. Why are you making that look so easy when it is typically something that the human condition says you're going to let go of the rope a tiny bit when you get a lead in a series? You guys have not done that. Why is that?
I think it starts from Coach Carlisle, just keeping our attention on the main thing, taking it a day at a time and just focusing on what's in front of us. And then I think that just trickles down. I think our jobs, me, Pascal, Miles, James, as leaders, is to, continue to share the same message that Coach has. And, there's nothing to get excited about right now. We're still a long way away, and you just got to take it a day at a time. So, we're excited to play another game in front of our home crowd and approach this game the same way we approached yesterday, and just control what we can. And I think the biggest thing is just playing hard. If we could do that, we could figure everything else out from there. So there's no need to get super giddy or excited by any means. There's still a lot of work to be done.
Jenny up front.
Hey, Tyrese, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. TJ, if he was not known to be an NBA player, he could probably walk into the Y and people would think, who's this guy? But he's impacting the NBA Finals. How has he been able to do that? And it's gotten to the point with both him and Caruso, when they don't have an impact, you think, what's going on here? But specific to TJ, how has he managed to have such an impact on things?
Yeah, he just does the little things so well. He he always talks about it like he's in year 10, and the biggest thing for him that he knew he would have to do to stick would be just to play harder than people. You know, I think that's his calling card, his MO, how hard he plays and the energy that he plays with. Obviously, he's a very skilled player as well, but I think he just does a great job of just playing harder than people, and that has really created, you know, such an unbelievable career for him, and he'll continue to do that. But you know, I think our fans have really taken a liking and a loving him, and same way with Caruso and OKC, and for TJ it was the same thing in Philly. Like, it's hard not to root for a guy like that, you know, who just plays so hard. And like you said, he's an NBA player, but if he walks in anywhere, he can get away with it. People have no clue. Yeah, he just plays so hard, and I think that's the biggest thing is he just controls what he can, and I think that's the biggest example of it. You know, making missed shots, that is what it is, but he just plays so hard, and that makes up for things.
Jeff on the left.
Jeff Zilgate, USA Today. Rick just called playing and beating Oklahoma City a daunting task, and he seems to have the weight of the finals. He carries it on him. But I want to know from your perspective how much you're enjoying this. What are you enjoying about it? And, you know, obviously you'd rather be here than not playing at all, but, you know, how much of it is stressful compared to the regular season?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with right now is this is like a really exciting time, and to play against these guys is an honor, and it's a lot of fun because this is a 68-win team. This is historically one of the best defenses ever. You know, this is a really good team. They have the MVP. They have a bunch of dudes who are going to be in this league for a long time, having a lot of success. So, you know, I can't say enough good things about their team as a group. And I think the most fun part about basketball is, you know, if you're going to win, you don't want to do it any other way than have to beat the best. You know, and this team has been the best team in the NBA all year. They consistently respond, you know, when their backs are against the wall. You know, so it's a lot of fun. Like, as competitors, you want to compete against the best, and these guys are the best. And so I think that I'll say that to answer that part of the question. And then as far as stress, I think that should be heightened right now. You know, you're playing in the NBA Finals. You know, there should be a higher sense of urgency, a higher level of stress. Your spit should taste different. All those things, right? Like, this is a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun. And after games, I'm struggling to sleep. Good games and bad games. I'm watching a ton of film. I'm doing us as a group. We're texting in the group chat more about, you know, basketball related things more than we probably ever have. Like, this is a lot of fun, and you know, you don't want to take these moments for granted. And we got a few people in our organization who have won a championship or played in the NBA Finals, and that's all that we consistently hear about is don't take this moment for granted. You know, enjoy this moment, and you know, you want to be able to, you know, put all your cards on the table, play as hard as you can. You don't want to have any regrets at the end of it. So, you know, that's the biggest thing we talk about as a group, and you know, that's how it should be.
Barry, second row in the center.
Yeah, Barry Trammell, Tulsa World. Even when Shea's had some success in this series, he seems to be frustrated on some level. What's Andrew doing to keep Shea sort of off his game, even if it's emotional?
Well, I think Andrew's doing a great job of, you know, staying in front, being physical, you know, just making it hard on him. You know, just trying to give him different looks. I mean, let's say he's the MVP. He's the best scorer in the NBA. Feels like when he wakes up, he has 30. You know, like that's what it is. But I think Drew's doing a great job of making it as difficult as he can, being physical, you know, just being a pesty defender. And that's his calling card in this league and what he does at such a high level. And those guys haven't played together all summer. They've known each other like their whole lives. Like, I'm sure they know things about each other that many people don't know. So I think that's to both of their benefits as well. But I think to see such an elite offensive talent compete against such an elite defensive talent has been a treat to watch for me on the floor. So I know as basketball fans, people have to enjoy that matchup as well. So with a guy like Shea, you can never give him the same look. And Drew does a great job of mixing things up. You know, we're just trying to make life hard on him as best we can.
Tanya, fourth row.
Tyrese, Tanya Ganguly, New York Times. You mentioned a few people in your organization who have won championships. I'm wondering if Have they been talking about those finals experiences or even like bringing their rings to show you guys or anything like that?
I haven't seen any rings. I have not. Coach consistently, I think he always, haven't been in the league so long. I hear a lot of stories from him. Not just from that 2011 run, but the unsuccessful runs and just stories of him with, Dirk and certain guys. And I think, we've been talking a lot about, that 2011 championship run and how that series went and how they had to respond in many different ways. I was 11 years old, but I remember hating Coach Carlisle and those guys at that time. But I think even with Pascal, I think he's probably grown to learn that he might be a little annoyed by me at this point with all the questions that I ask from those finals runs. And it's been like that since he's gotten here, honestly. Like, I just consistently ask questions because I wasn't in the league at the time and I was a huge basketball fan, so I want to know about the adjustments and certain things and the conversations in those locker rooms. So we consistently talk about those things, yeah, for sure. And just try to get knowledge from all the basketball minds that were around. I think everybody can agree on that, not just in our locker room, but the external forces as well, like Reggie consistently talking with us and just other guys that I've had conversations with, sharing their experiences has been really beneficial for me. And like I said, just keep saying, I don't want to take this time for granted. I want to live in the moment and, put all my cards on the table and have no regrets at the end of this.
I feel like in Game 3, the box score doesn't really say enough appreciation to your game. You had 4 assists, but it seems like you had a lot more finding success, passing out of that low block, getting a lot of those hockey assists. What did you see from your guys' offense that allowed so much more cutting and so much more action around the rim compared to the first 2 games?
I just thought we played our game. It was like against a team like that, you got to continue to play and can't get stuck. We know how good they are defensively, and I think as much movement that we can have, the better.
Over here on the front on the left, microphone's coming up.
Pascal, Tyrese Haliburton said before the fourth quarter interview that Indiana has got to rebound and run. How much do you think that all that run bothers Oklahoma? And do you guys intend to run even more tomorrow?
I don't know, but I know that we gotta play our type of game, and we gotta continue. They have great rebounders on the team, and they do a good job of crashing. So, I think in any really game, you just gotta try to secure the ball, and try to run in transition.
Any other questions? Tanya in the middle.
Pascal, Tanya Ganguly, New York Times. Tyrese was just talking about how much he asks you about your finals run and what that was like. What kinds of questions is he asking? And he said you might be getting annoyed with him. Or are you?
Oh no, I'm not annoyed with him. That's funny. But no, I think he's a student of the game. He wants to learn, and obviously, like, he watches a lot of film, and I think most of the stuff that we just talk about is just about the game and how it was, and certain things. I'm not going to tell you exactly what we talk about, but I think just understanding the magnitude of what we're trying to accomplish, and knowing how difficult it is, and to me, I just try to keep him just level-headed and understanding that there's going to be times where it doesn't go as planned, and we have to find a way to overcome that. And to me, like I said, the best advice I can give him is just to, this thing is a long series, and being in the finals it's a lot going on. So try to focus as much in the game as possible.
One in the middle, second row. Barry up front.
Yeah, Barry Trammell, the Tulsa World. How much is Andrew Nembhard making a name for himself in this series as an elite defender? A lot of the league didn't know the quality of defender, might not know the quality of defender he was, but the way he's sort of slowed Shea to some degree is pretty impressive.
No, I think he's been doing that all year. He's a great defender. I don't think. If it's a surprise to it's like he does that. He's been doing it all year. So I think when you play against great players every single night, it is hard. It's a tough job, and all he can do is just try his best, and I think he's doing that.
Anyone else for the final one? Joe, up front here.
I thought, there's a question here. I thought last night's game that the pace and the intensity it seemed to jump off from the court, like more noticeable than games 1 and 2. And I know you've been in the finals before, a really tight finals, tough finals with the Warriors that you guys won, a lot of drama. Does last night for you, does that compare to any of the great finals games that you had played in your first run?
I think every final game is intense, and I know, I think for most people, it's like, we look at the score and it's like, all right, if you were down this much, it's like, all right, that means one team didn't play good, hard, or the other one did better, or whatever. But every possession is intense. It's physical, the crowds, and everyone's watching you, there's attention. So to me, they all feel the same in a way where how important it is and the intensity that you feel when you're on the court, no matter what the score is and whatever happens, it's physical, it's tough, gritty, it's really, really hard, and you feel every single possession out there when you're on the floor. So in that sense, to me, I think that there is similarities, I'll say, yeah.
No?
No.
You have to pick another one? Or the next one?
You talking about my NBA career?
Oh yeah, 27 in the final, being a super factor. How do you feel right now? How's your fitness this morning?
I feel good. I feel good. I'm recovering pretty well. And just getting ready for the game tonight.
Which one would you pick as a key? Forcing them to 19 turnovers, 45 from you guys from the bench, the intensity level of defense in the second quarter. Which one would you pick from the game with the last yesterday?
If I had to pick something, I would say the aggressiveness. We were aggressive and we were persistent on the defense side of the ball, the offensive side of the ball, and we were able to, to win the game.
My last one quick, between Shea and Jalen Williams, 10 turnovers. They handle the ball all the time, but that's too much. That's a great defensive plan.
For sure. I think, whatever we can do to win the game, whether it's, grabbing extra rebounds or making them turn the ball over, that's the main key for the game.
Ben, when the players in the starting role, they know the time of the tip, they know when it's time to go. When you're sitting there waiting, how do you come in there and flip that switch? You don't seem to come in tentative or shy and you get right to it. What is it about you that makes it look so easy when it's time to go? You just go out and go.
It's just a mindset. I just get in the game, knowing what I have to do, knowing whatever it is, whether it's a dive on the floor or make shots, I'm willing to do for my team to win.
Is it strange to think you really had a big role in turning that game around yesterday? You came in, the place was hyped. Could you feel that energy from the fans as soon as you went out there?
For sure. I think the fans, they play a big part of us winning the games, especially at home. So, very, very grateful for the crowd, and I'm looking forward for the same thing tomorrow.
What allowed you to move the ball better offensively as a team and contributed to the increase in team defense as well? That was the best performance of this series for sure.
I would say just sitting on the loss for a couple of days, just being able to watch a lot of film and pay attention to details. That was the main key for us, and I think we've done a pretty good job of being locked in on the right things. So that's the biggest thing for us.
Bennedict, you guys had a great game overall, but if you guys watch film already, where are some areas that maybe you can still improve defensively or offensively?
It's a lot of areas of growth. I think that we can improve, for tomorrow's game. All I could really say is watch film. Watch a lot of film and be ready for next game.
Anything you noticed on their side that worked well on your guys' side defensively maybe?
Not really. Main focus is our team.
Ben, you've talked a lot about how hard last year was for you having to watch all these playoff games and not be a part of it. How does it feel to have a game like you had last night, where you not only are a part of it, but having the game of your life on the final stage?
It's good. I'm looking forward to play as hard as I did last night for tomorrow's game, and
it was great, because all of this would have meant nothing if we lost the game. So the main thing is just to win the game, and I was able to have my team do that.
Have you been able to zoom out today at all and think about the moment you just had within the context of focusing on the rest of the series you guys have?
Yeah, you could say that. I have plans. You got to wrap it up soon. I'm trying to bake. I'm trying to do a little cookies tonight. So, I'm trying to get away from it. I don't know yet. I'm still baking it.
I'm sorry if these are been asked, but give me your thoughts on these big plays for us, the fans last night. How huge were they for you guys in this game?
Huge. It's great to see Gamebridge, full of yellow shirts, and the fans just being really, really excited. I think you could feel the energy going to the building, and as soon as I checked in the game, I felt it right away.
One thing we know what we're seeing from the fans, but it's crazy to see what the city like, how they've redecorated everything, putting up your names on the streets, and also I don't know if you saw pictures like how the people were celebrating after the game. What does that mean to you that the city put so much into it to showcase you that you guys are here?
It's great. I love seeing our fans happy. If I could, do it again for the fans to be happy, then I'm willing to do it.
And also to see what the city invests to showcase you as a team.
For sure. I mean, we need the fans. We need the fans to come out there and support. That's the most important thing. And our job is to go out there and play as hard as we can to win the game.
Mathurin, you're the 6th player in NBA Finals history to score 25 points, age 22 or younger. When you hear that, what comes to mind? What's your thoughts?
It's great, but I'm not going to the game thinking, what record could I break today. I just play as hard as I can, and, put my faith in God that He's going to keep me healthy, and the rest I'm going to take care of it.
Ben, after game one, Bill Simmons made a quote where he said, "When will you have a game where it's like he scored 27 points in 22 minutes?" And that ended up being exactly what you scored last night. So did you talk to Bill at all before the game? And how do you feel about somebody being able to just kind of call your shots like that? That's scary.
That's crazy. That's crazy. The only thing I can tell him to do is to say it again.
What are you baking tonight?
I don't know, man. I don't know yet, man. I don't know.
Do the same thing you did before last game.
Yeah, same routine.
And just add to the situation right now where you're so close to winning the NBA championship. What's the mindset not just yourself and your teammates? You take it through what you coming up tomorrow night.
It'll be great for our team. Like I said, as much as we want to enjoy those moments, we're fortunate enough to play tomorrow. So we don't sit too long in winning this game. We have to come with the same aggressiveness for tomorrow's game, and I think the Reds will take care of itself.
Does it add to the enjoyment? You guys know much of an underdog you've been considered in the series. Is that something that you're still talking about internally now with the league? We have been talking about Coach Carlisle, what he did with the Mavs, maybe one of the best upsets in NBA history. Is with Conley on the short list. Like, how much is that special for you guys?
It's a great question. I think the main thing is we know what we can accomplish, but we can't skip steps. We have to be prepared for tomorrow's game, and I think that doing that is going to be a great step in the right direction.
Shep, after 25 years, what was your perspective of the fan base's energy from last night's game? I mean, it's the first time that they see a finals after 25 years here.
Yeah.
What was your perspective on it?
I mean, I had no idea before the game what I was going to be walking into. I played in some big games here last year, my rookie year, Eastern Conference playoffs, in-season tournament. The crowd was rocking, but I feel like there was a different energy. And I feel like once you stepped out on that court, you could feel how much the fans want it for the city. So it just adds a little bit extra motivation for all of us. They made it a great environment. We're going to need them to show up tomorrow, too.
one day between game 3 and game 4. What does that change in terms of process, in terms of recovery, in terms of your daily kind of regimen leading up to the game?
Yeah, you definitely got to take care of yourself during the stay in between. I don't know, we kind of had a light practice, watched film, picked up on all the things that we messed up on, and then just focused on getting better tomorrow.
Do you prefer like the quicker turnaround or having like the full 2 days in between games?
I'd say personally for myself, I like the quicker turnaround, just because I'm so anxious to play all the time and so excited. So, yeah, definitely excited for tomorrow.
The level of intensity between every game, how much has been growing up?
I feel like both teams know how much is at stake. So as the series goes on, each situation is so important within the game. So, yeah, I feel like the pressure is building, but just sticking together and playing our team basketball.
Even though there is 48 minutes, do you feel it's shorter or longer as soon as the series is advancing?
I feel like it's longer just because every play is so important and just kind of gives you a good idea of how the series is going to go and all that type of stuff. So I'd definitely say longer.
What do you expect from Oklahoma City in that so-called must-win game for them on Friday night?
Just come out and play hard. We know they're going to be ready. We know they're going to be ready to compete. So, yeah, just go ahead and expect them to play hard and just do what they do.
Can you match what you did in Game 3? Is it easier said than done to do that?
It's easier said than done, but I think our group is ready for it. We're excited and just excited to defend home court again and see what we can do. So.
Ben, now since this has kind of been the whole routine has been a week into the routine, do you feel like this is still just an NBA games, or do you feel like this is the finals and it just feels everything about like even off the court?
I feel like it's more important once you get on the court, but day to day, I just feel like it's a normal routine, a normal playoff game, and just trying not to let the moment get too big, and just focus on playing and focus as a collective group, just seeing what goals at stake. So.
When you go into a cocoon, or do you have family staying with you? Do you try to limit distractions?
Definitely. I'd say when I'm outside the gym, I try to take time to myself and not think too much about basketball, but yeah, just making sure I'm managing my time correctly.
Ben, when Andrew Nembhard had, I think, 3 fouls and went to the bench, you were the guy assigned to guard SGA for a portion of the game. How is you preparing for that, and are you the guy to guard SGA whenever Nembhard can do that?
Yeah, I'd say I'm the secondary defender for him coming off the bench, but just playing confident, doing what I'm doing, and for a young player like me, it's cool to watch Andrew do what he does out there and just learn from him and take everything that he's doing out there to guard him and slow him down, and just try to implement that when I get out there. Yeah.
Ben, you had a couple shots that you made that normally you might pass or not look to make. Is that something where you were just feeling good and took it, or has there been an emphasis to try and get you to pursue more shots?
I just say taking my shots as they come. I know what I'm out there for, and I'm not trying to force anything, but definitely taking advantage of my opportunities and just being aggressive and being confident.
You move on to the next. You guys have been so good about a disappointing loss, you move on. Big win, everybody's so excited. How do you put that in the rearview mirror and say, hey, we still got work?
I mean, those games was over with. Watch film, learn from the mistakes that we had, and then now it's on to the next game, game number 4. We got to go in here or come back in here and get that one.
It seems like no matter what the game is, people know about pressure. If you're playing the finals, every game's got pressure, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really feel pressure, just probably excitement. I feel like most of these guys are excited to play, which might bring the game a little faster than it's supposed to. But once you get into the game and get your groove, it slows down and you just trust in your work.
You brought your A game and so did the fans, didn't you?
The fans was amazing yesterday. I've never heard it that loud in here, and it was rocking yesterday.
You guys know what's on the line.
Yeah.
What is the message among yourselves, the teammates here, your coach, and what
Yeah, we're really not looking that far into the future. We just worried about this next game coming up. Like I said, we have 3 games done already. We get to learn from the mistakes that we had and get better from it, so that we don't make it in game number 4.
You had, in my opinion, one of the highlights of the final so far that looked back.
Yeah.
For me, that was one of the key points of the game. I just want to get your thoughts on that moment, how it felt being in front of your fans, your first finals, and getting a huge putback done.
Yeah, it felt good. Crowd was going crazy after it, so the energy was definitely in there. It felt great. I just knew, like, as soon as Ty put the floater up, I knew it was going to be a perfect miss. So I had to creep in there and get that putback dunk. But the energy in here yesterday was amazing after that.
Obi, when do you start looking towards the future?
For what?
For like where the series progresses.
Whenever we going for game 4, after we win that, we got to win 2 more though. But the first one is tomorrow, and we got to get that one done first. So.
Watching the game last night, not disrespecting OKC, but it felt like those loose balls, that grit you guys had was so evident. Last night. What is it about this team when the game is on the line down the stretch, you guys step up there and doing everything to try to win these games?
I mean, we've been in a lot of close games this whole season. We got great leaders on this team, and the coaches and players who keep us on track with everything. But we're comfortable in close games and at the end of games as well. We just trust our work and trust we got to get the ball into our guards' hands, and they're gonna make their plays. So.
How valuable is Rick in keeping that mindset just one game at a time, one moment at a time? How key is he in that mindset?
He's a huge part, just because he has a lot of experience being in the finals. Like he's won the finals, he's been in the finals a couple times, so he definitely knows what he's talking about. And we also have Pascal, who was a main contender on Toronto's team when they won. So we got 2 great leaders who've been here. Jim as well. Jim has won some rings as well. But just listening to them, we understand they've been here before and know what it takes. So. What's going on, bro? Yes, sir. Good.
Player correspondent about his results.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask you, how does it feel to have your family watching the finals?
Man, it feels amazing. A lot of people know my dad, knew we used to play ball. So I feel super happy for him to have the opportunity to be here and experience this, and obviously have a son playing here. So it's super exciting though. My kids love it. They at an age where they don't really understand what's going on, but they're just screaming because everybody else is screaming and having fun. So I love that they're here watching. Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
How annoying would it be to play against TJ? He's frustrated.
Man, I had to play against TJ a couple times when I was in New York. I hated him, but we can pull up the dunk that I had over there. Yeah, I had it between the legs, but he talks about that all the time. But TJ is a pest. Like, he's like an annoying gnat just flying around your head, getting those quick steals, just doing those little things that's helping this team win. Like, he might not have the most numbers on the team on the scores sheet, but he's gonna do the little things that's gonna help any team win, and we love him. So. Yes, sir.
Which one of these 2 should be more impressive? Forced to them to 19 turnovers to 21 points, or you, TJ, and Mathurin from the bench 45 points?
Them or us?
Which one you pick?
What we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. With me.
What you doing?
Me, Ben, and TJ. You said.
Yeah.
We doing a great job. I'll never pick Petty side.
But the bench was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, out of the world, 7 points for Matthew, your energy, TJ. Do you think you are better and deeper now from the beginning from the playoffs?
I mean, I feel like we have depth since last year. We didn't get to the finals last year, but we've learned from the mistakes that we had then to allow us to be where we're at now. So we're going to continue learning from all our mistakes and get better so we can get to that ring.
Okay, my last one. Your level is amazing.
Yes, sir.
Which one was the key of the click for you to evolve as a player since 2 years ago from now?
Just being a sponge. listen to all the feedback that I get back from the coaches, from the players, and just continue to work, get better every single day to allow us to be in the position we're in now.
Congrats.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You guys have worked extremely hard to get home to win.
Yeah.
How important is it for you not to let this slip away?
It's super important, but we're taking it one game at a time. We got this game tomorrow that we're focused on, and we got to come back into Gamebridge with our amazing fans and get it done. Yes, sir.
How do you think your role has evolved as the series has progressed?
I mean, my role's been the same. Just come in and do whatever I can to help the team win. I don't really look at minutes. I just try to, with the opportunities that I get, come in and just make an impact on the game. Whether that's offense, defense, just come in, do whatever I can to help the team win.
She said, of course, you just played in the game, nothing's reached so far, but still, you are the one leading the series now 2-1,
Yeah.
and no one was kind of expecting that. How satisfying still is that feeling to appreciate that moment?
It's not going to be satisfying until we win and win the ring. So, like I said, we just gonna continue looking at film and getting better every single day until that time comes.
Obi, Rick's talking about how culture is an everyday thing to establish and maintain. But what do you attribute to each of you starting in your own role, being ready when called upon, all those sorts of things like we continue to see?
I mean, everybody on this team is a great player, and we all trust each other and love to see each other have success. And it starts with Ty, Pascal, and Miles. They do a great job keeping everybody involved, and when you feel involved out there on the floor, it's fun playing that way. Everybody on our bench, Ben, me, TJ, Jairus, Ben Shepp, everybody on that bench can have 20, 30 points on any given night. But we just go out there, play the right way so we can get a win.
Do you guys have a name for your bench?
No. TJ might got the name. I'm going to let TJ say it. Okay, there we go.
Hey, TJ, how much really comes down to stats and this and that at this time of the season? How much is it just grit and working hard and competing?
I think it's about playing together as a group. Obviously, I think we've got a total team, and we've got to continue to play together, communicate, and play as hard as we can on both ends of the floor.
Did you find something yesterday that you can apply tomorrow? Will it be a total different?
We're still looking at stuff like that, and then obviously look at stuff that we can fix. But don't want to divulge too much information. But Rick and his staff do a great job of figuring out what we need to fix and stuff that we can add.
TJ, how you doing? This is Remy, Latin America. I know you're going to say it's your job, but 5 steals from the bench, you change again your energy with Obi and Bennedict, etc. Were you amazed about yourselves doing that in the finals?
I think you know me. Our group, it's a feel thing. When we need to inject energy, I think we do a good job of doing that. And like you said, just trying to do my job. Really, that's all it comes down to. Nothing more, nothing less.
For you, what was the key yesterday? The level and intensity of the defense, forcing 19 turnovers, or that second quarter was amazing with 40 points and the closeout? Which one would you pick at the moment of the game?
I'm not quite sure. I just think as a group, we just continue to need to be tied together on both ends of the floor, because we're going against a great team who's extremely well coached, got the MVP of the league. So we have a lot more left to do.
Thank you so much.
I asked Obi if your bench squad has a name. He said to ask you.
I don't know if we have a name. You might have to ask around. If we do, I don't know about it.
TJ, it seemed like, no disrespect to OKC, but down the stretch, you guys getting the loose ball. It's like you guys really wanted this game from last night. Where does that come from for you guys, especially in this postseason? Have you guys been able to find a way down the stretch?
I mean, I feel like throughout the series, to start the game, you could really say OKC was getting all the 50-50 balls and, the second chance points. It goes in waves, and you have to have a concerted effort from the group to kind of dig deeper and go to another place competitively, and that's what we need to continue to do.
What do you do with your relationship with the fans? Like, you've taken that more on each game, each season, of finding a moment within a game and hoping it sparks something.
Yeah, I mean, I love this place. I love our fans, and anytime we can get them energized more than they already are, it takes us to another level, and we need their energy next game.
TJ, what role conditioning plays for you and your team in terms of playing the way you do and having seemingly more energy than you're on every game?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously got to be in good shape. Got to credit Rick and our strength and conditioning staff for preparing us to play this way from the moment Rick walked through the door, and credit to us for kind of taking, and no pun intended, running with it. It's a style of play that he wanted to play, and we've adapted, and we've got to continue to do so. I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm just trying to do my job. We got to focus on Game 4 and fix some stuff there.
The disparity against scoring was insane. Is that something that you found in the game, or is it something that was it just one of those days where there was no concern?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could look back at Game 2, and their bench, outplayed ours. So we've got to continue to look at the film and see what we can do better, and take things that we need to clean up and fix those.
TJ, you talked a lot. You guys are plus 27 fourth quarter so far in the series. What do you think lets that disparity?
Just continuing to play, staying together through their runs, because they're going to make runs. They're a great team. Just coming together, talking to each other, and being connected on both ends of the floor throughout the entire game. I mean, they're a great team. I don't really have, a direct answer for you, but I mean, they've got really good players over there and a great coach. So for them to make runs is not unusual. It's just we're going against a really good team.
Rick has done a good job of keeping you guys balanced, not too high, not too low. How beneficial has that been for players like yourself and these other guys to go into a critical game like Game 4, knowing you're here at home as well?
Yeah, I mean, we just have to take it one day at a time. Rick's done a good job of, like you said, keeping us in the middle, not too high, not too low. Good win yesterday, but we're moving on, focusing on Game 4.
TJ,
just trying to pick my spots, honestly. When an opportunity presents itself for me to try to go score, that's what I try to do. But other than that, just play hard and get my teammates the ball and bring energy on defense.
TJ, you've talked throughout the season about the importance of accountability, of you guys holding yourselves and each other accountable. When and how was that most important in the course of the season? When did you guys most have to do that, and how do you feel like it returns this year?
I mean, I feel like we've done that all year. Obviously, we got off to a slow start to start the year. Not using it as an excuse, but we weren't exactly healthy to start the year. But the accountability in this locker room, guy 1 through 15, everyone listens to each other and what each player has to say, and that's valuable.
So your coach is playing hard as a skill. How would you teach that skill to some kids?
I mean, it's a tough question, but at the same time, in your off-season workouts, just, getting yourself in great shape and, playing one-on-one full court against somebody, just getting a mindset that you're not going to get tired, I think is something that I would try to teach someone to just play hard.
Effort-wise, what do you expect from the Thunder in Game 4?
I mean, they always respond. They're a great team. You saw how they responded in Game 2. We're going to have to be really locked in and dialed in for their response and be totally together.
TJ, for your grandpa to attend games, or is that a special scenario?
He hasn't made it to too many of my games, so the fact that he was able to see the game yesterday, we had a bit of a tragedy in our family, and it was his wife. So the fact that he made the trip here to come watch me play. Yeah, I mean, I can't put it into words how much it meant.
TJ, Obi referred to you as a pest when I asked him about your style of play, and he wanted to remind you that he had a massive dunk against you one time. Would you describe you as being a pest? You talked about working hard and bringing that extra. Is that a good description, you think?
I've heard about every nickname you can imagine, so just kind of roll with it. But it sounds super cliche. I'm out here just trying to do my job, and it sounds redundant because I keep saying it, but that's just been my mindset throughout my career.
How hard is it to keep it even keeled if you know that you're just 2 games away from winning?
Because there's still a lot more work to do. We can't look ahead. Like I said, we have to stay in the moment and focus on the task at hand, and that's game 4 tomorrow.
Last one. Well, will you rinse your dishes again like you did for last week? That's how you saw you rinsing your dishes.
Maybe do takeout tonight with the wife, but I'm not sure. If she needs me to, I will, for sure.
At the same time, if you see can regain the cards.
Every game is important. Tomorrow we're gonna have to come out with the same fight, same effort we gave yesterday. They're gonna come out with their own punch. We're gonna have to sustain that and give a punch of our own.
You did a great job against Shea in the last game. How tough was that, and how come you guys can repeat that in the game 4?
It's a whole team effort, but Andrew's doing a good job at the point of attack, making life difficult for him, and we're just gonna have to continue to make it tough.
You're talking to Brazil. You have a lot of fans in Brazil. Do you know anything in Portuguese? Do you want to say something to your fans in Brazil?
I don't, unfortunately. But thank you guys. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate the support from over there. We need it constantly. Feel you through the TV.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What's that movie?
Which one? Oh, Hoosiers? I haven't seen it. It may have been a long time. I feel like I have seen it, though.
Do you remember something of the movie?
No.
But you know the story behind
I do know, yeah.
It's with high school kid that was
Yeah. Great story.
Do you feel that there's something similar with this team? I mean,
Um,
like an underdog fighting for that?
A little bit, but we're just trying to write our own story, play our, just trying to take it day by day and not worry about narratives until it's all over. I'll think about that stuff when it's over and make comparisons.
Fewest clutch time games in the last 25 years. Is that something?
That's crazy.
Is that something?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if you were mindful of that.
No.
I guess not. You sort of sense a difference when the fourth quarter comes around and execution and sort of the way they approach it.
I think it's more about us. To be honest, I think we just thrive in those situations. We just know how to play and clutch games and do what's necessary when the game calls for it. So I think that's more about us tonight.
I don't know the exact stat, but clearly you've limited the ball in some of the 3 assist games they've had all season. What sort of led to that?
Just making life tough, giving them different reads, and trying our best to make them work for everything.
Your transition defense has been excellent all season long, particularly in the playoffs and particularly in the series. Just kind of what goes into having such an excellent transition.
Turnovers are part of the game. Mistakes happen. It's about how you bounce back from those mistakes and learn from those mistakes, and understanding just because you turn the ball over, the play's not over. You got to get back and hopefully try and get it back.
What strategic principles do you guys kind of employ to?
Got nothing for you, brother. Sorry.
Yesterday, Tyrese called TJ like a great white hope. I don't know if you agree with that, and also what do you think? What do you think his impact is in creating momentum when he comes off the bench?
TJ's huge, man. You can't put into words what TJ means to our team. Like it's just a spark plug off the bench every time.
How you doing?
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm
This is
good.
Randy in Latin America. First up, my 2 questions. How do you feel in this morning? 2-1 finals. Excited, relaxed, trying to be focused, and desperate?
We're focused. I mean, we're up 2-1. That's where we want to be. But we got another game tomorrow that we got to win. So focus immediately shifts to that game and what we got to do better from yesterday.
Doing adjustments when you are the winner is maybe more difficult?
we just got to keep an edge, make sure that we come out firing, come out with play the same way we did yesterday, play with the same urgency.
And which one would be? Maybe the three-point shoot? I mean, the only thing you can say from yesterday, okay, maybe we didn't hit more threes, whatever, but the rest it was awesome.
Yeah, we play our game, man. We'll play our game, we'll play hard, and we'll go out there and we'll try and win the ball game.
Okay, talking about your defensive level intensity since the second quarter and a half was amazing, terrific. Did you surprise about yourself at what you're doing, forcing them so many turnovers, controlling Shea, trapping, all that stuff? I mean, I think it was the plan, but I think it was perfect.
No, never surprised. It's just us playing our game, sticking to our game plans, and doing what the game calls for us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Aaron, do you remember?
How you doing?
Would you like to say anything to Thai fan who wakes up so early
every
morning to watch the
we appreciate you. I feel your support through the TV. We need you. Thank you so much. Continue waking up for us. We can get the job done. Appreciate you.
20 hour flight from Thailand
That's
to
crazy.
United States.
I appreciate you. Thank you for coming.
And do you remember playing against TJ when you were with Boston and that pestiness? Did you ever have a possession?
I do, man. I remember I was sitting on the bench like, who is this guy, bro? This guy, man, the 6'1" guy coming over here causing havoc. But yeah, he's, like I said, he's unreal, man.
What did you think of the bench in general last night? I know Bennedict Mathurin had the game that he's been hoping to have this class, specifically how he kind of elevates it.
He's huge, man. Ben is such a talented guy. When he plays like that, we're very hard to beat. And we're going to need that from him. They're a great team over there. We got great guys over here. We need Ben to continue to play that way. We need TJ to continue to play that way, and we'll be fine.
You were healthy with Boston when you weren't playing as much. He lliterally could not play last year. What's that feeling like of having to watch and then coming in and eventually playing?
You look at the game differently. You pick up different nuances. You understand the importance, and it's, sometimes it's a wake-up call of like, gosh, this is, I miss it. And you take some things for granted, and when it's taken away from you, it's, you're just that much hungrier to get out there. So.
Obi said that TJ is a pest. Is that a good description of how his style of play is?
Yeah.
What is it about him that he can turn a game around? Like you said, it doesn't look like he's going to be a guy that produces a 4-0 run or gets a bucket.
Non-stop, man. That's TJ, non-stop. Always going, giving 100%. Like, that's who he is as a person.
Aaron, you've been a key piece defensively this postseason. What's your focus like heading into Game 4?
Continue to make life tough for those guys. Continue on, talk to my teammates. My teammates got my back on defense and giving them different reads, making it hard.
And you guys have talked a lot about accountability and holding yourselves, each other accountable. How does the coaching staff kind of create an environment that makes that work?
I think it's just grown over the past 3 seasons with the group that's been here, just knowing who each other are, just being so close and understanding that we know how to get the most out of each other, and we do that.
How long did it take for you guys to get to the point where you feel like you could say whatever you wanted to say basically today? That it was going to be taken the right way?
Couldn't tell you. I don't know. It just happened naturally. Yeah.
What's your series-long practice day?
I can't give away all my secrets, man. But I start inside to out, and I just focus on my rhythm, my confidence, and believe every shot it takes to go in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you prefer the quicker turnaround between Game 3 and Game 4, just 1 day between games?
Say again?
Do you prefer that there was only 1 day between Game 3 and Game 4, or did you like having more days?
I'm kind of indifferent, honestly. I enjoy having 2 days if it's a travel. Like if you ever got to fly, then that's better. But yeah, playing every other day is just looking forward to the games always. Huge. I said it earlier. I wish I could have seen what it looked like outside Cambridge before and after the game. I wanted to see how rowdy it was, but the fans in here were rocking. We're gonna need them rocking again tomorrow. They made a big difference for us in the game, and we're gonna need them to make another big difference tomorrow.
What can you say about yourself and your teammates and how there's like this will down the stretch, loose balls, defensively? Where does that all come from, especially in this postseason?
We're just a resilient group. We understand what the game needs. We answer the call, and we just do it time and time again. And we just fight for each other. I think when things get tough, You know, we just look at the guy next to us and understand what it means to them, and we just fight for the next man more than we fight for ourselves.
Last question. Rick was talking about he's aware of even like this point spread and how you guys are continuously counted out. How much have you guys used that both as individuals, right, from your previous destinations, but also going into each of these cities?
We've learned to love the space. We've lived in it for so long. It feels like that's just the norm for us at this point. So I don't look at it any differently. I've never expected to be the favorite. So that's just life for me at this point, honestly. Yeah.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.
Shea more frustrated than almost any defender has all season. What's the key to that, man?
I mean, it's a team effort. Trying to play hard, make it tough on them, be best. Just try to make it work.
He seems to be emotionally frustrated as well. I know you guys have a history together, but what are you doing? Did you know what buttons to push? Or
I don't necessarily know if he's emotionally frustrated. I mean, the guy's pretty even killed, and he's been through a lot, so he's the MVP of the league. He's not going to do much to kind of sway that.
What is your relationship? A lot of history playing together?
A lot of, watching from afar, seeing each other's success. Definitely a guy who's set the pace for Canadian basketball, and a guy who's got a lot of game that people can learn from. So I definitely admire from far.
When you talk about making him work, you guys are picking him up higher than before in the series. It's how he's picked him up. Russell uses a lot on the other end of the floor. How much do you think those body blows kind of take a toll in terms of like fatigue throughout the game?
I think we're trying to make it tough on them. The biggest thing was just being persistent, trying to make it tough on them. It's a team job. We got to all be locked in and tied together on that side of the floor to get it done.
How much of your bestiness comes from yourself, and how much have you learned from playing with TJ all these years?
I think it's a little bit of both. I've definitely watched TJ a lot and seen how he's impacted the game and how he's been instrumental to his own success and our team's success. And I've also felt like I've had a little bit of that in me just growing up and wanting to be competitive and taking those battles a little personally.
What makes those inbound steals possible when other teams knows that's something he's going to do and he can still get that 3, 4, 5 times?
I'm not really sure. He just sees sneaky with it and got a good feel for it and a lot of experience, a lot of tries probably.
You're hoping this game 4 for you guys. You can make 3-1 the series at the same time. OKC can regain the home court advantage. How is this game for you?
No, I mean each game in the playoffs is important. We're coming in with the same mentality to play hard and stay together.
What makes your transition defense so effective? It's been great all year, but then particularly in this series.
I think our whole game plan of how we play with pace can deter transition defense at times. But just being locked in, tied together, understanding that's a point of emphasis.
Tyrese has been very effective for you guys. I think he has the most points scored in the finals. 3 game span without a free throw ever.
Say it again?
Tyrese is the most points scored in the finals, 3 game span without a free throw in history. What do you make of how he's been scoring for you guys?
He probably could have got a free throw. There's been times he's got fouled, but he does a good job of making it work without having to draw fouls. He gets in the paint, sprays out to guys, and score from everywhere. So he just does a great job orchestrating our offense.
Austin Rivers on a podcast earlier said that you guys are the best next play mentality team in the league, where no matter what happens, you're always moving on to the next play. How long did it take to develop that kind of mentality where you're just moving on to the next play?
I think the amount of time we've been together, we've built that trust, and we've been in a lot of situations where we've had to rely on each other down the stretch to make a game happen. So over time.
Andrew, what motivated you guys to change how you were covering Shea and having picking him up 94 feet? You're denying him after a week.
I think he led the all-time scoring for the first 2 games. We didn't necessarily switch it up as much as people think, to be honest. We did it better.
Were you surprised he wasn't trying to get open from you more when you were picking him up at this end? That you just kind of
I thought he was.
You could point to Jason. I don't
I mean, no. I'm not sure.
Did you make a last yesterday? He was fine watching. Rick said he wasn't feeling very well yesterday. What did you make of his performance?
Yeah, he fought through. He wasn't feeling great waking up. Knew he was going through that throughout the game, and I think maybe started off a little slow, but made big plays for us throughout the game and persevered.
Can you talk a little bit about what the crowd did for you this season? It was extra loud.
Yeah.
It's my first time here, so maybe you can speak on that a little bit.
It was huge. It was the best game I've played in here. It was just a little 1-2% louder, a little 1-2% more passion in the building. It was fun to be a part of, and we know how important our fans are for us.
Do you as a player, you actually feel it, or are you so in the moment that you don't get to feel it?
You try to stay in the moment, but you're going to naturally feel the way it tries to switch momentum. But it was great for us, and we need that 6 man.
You're making a name for yourself in the league with the defense you play in this series.
I'm not really too worried about making a name for myself. I'm trying to win games and try to play hard and impact winning as much as possible.